Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Well, I am Joshua Bell, and I am joined by a brand new orchestra that I just helped found in New York City called the Chamber Orchestra of America. Yeah. So you might ask, do we need orchestras anymore? Oh, thank you. Am I preaching to the choir? Okay, maybe, but do we need classical music anymore? Is it relevant? Well, good. Well, we all agree, I guess. I could go home. Okay, but I'm here really to answer that and say yes. So, well, I want you to imagine walking into your hometown concert hall. You're there to hear the symphony. So what happens there? Okay, you take a seat, and the musicians start filing onto the stage. Each one of those musicians has spent a lifetime, tens and thousands of hours mastering their craft, and each instrument in their hands is itself a piece of history, a testament to human ingenuity and creativity. The conductor walks onto the stage and he gives a downbeat, and the room comes alive with the sounds of the symphony. Every note has a direction, every harmony has a purpose, and you sit there in the audience being taken on a journey, not just being entertained passively, but actively listening and using your imagination. And you're doing it alongside thousands of other people from different walks of life, different ages, races, religions, political persuasions. None of those differences at that moment mean anything because you're unified by the music and reminded of your shared humanity. So don't you think we need that in today's world? Thank you. So, you've just heard a little bit of, as you probably know, Vivaldi, Antonio Vivaldi's Four Seasons, which he wrote 300 years ago in Italy. Incidentally, my violin that I'm holding in my hand was made 5 years before that was written, in 1713, just down the road in Cremona, Italy, by another Antonio Stradivari. And yeah, it's kind of amazing. And at that very same time, across the Alps in Germany, there was another man writing the most glorious music ever, and that was Johann Sebastian Bach. Now, Bach was expanding and experimenting on the idea of what an orchestra could sound like. He created his monumental St. Matthew Passion, which he wrote for two-string orchestras on the stage at the same time, double chorus, wind soloists, vocal soloists. It's just the most immense and spiritual piece really ever written, and it's 3 hours long. So we're going to play just a tiny bit of it from its most poignant moment, and that's the moment in this biblical story where Peter has just betrayed Jesus, and he's stricken with remorse and regret, begging basically for forgiveness. This is Erbarme dich, which means have mercy, my God. So, just after Bach died, another genius was born, and that was Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Mozart wrote 41 symphonies in his lifetime. We're going to play a little bit from his 25th symphony, which really marks the beginning of his middle period. He was 17 when he wrote it. So you that so that was Mozart's idea of a storm. And you might remember it from the stormy opening sequence of the movie Amadeus. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but it's one of my favorite movies. It's just a great story, but I also love the film because it portrayed classical music in a wonderful light. When it came out, millions and millions of people bought Mozart records, and many of those people probably had not ever stepped foot in a concert hall. And that really goes to show that classical music really can reach everyone. But unfortunately, classical music sometimes suffers from a bit of an image problem. In popular culture, classical music is so often portrayed as something boring or something for the elite, or my favorite, something relaxing, that you listen to in the background while you're doing something else. It reminds me of an ad from many years ago. I don't even remember what the product was, but I really remember the tagline because it really struck me. The tagline was, "It's like Beethoven, but with an attitude." So, Beethoven doesn't have attitude? Yeah, Beethoven. Beethoven knows. Classical music is just so relaxing. Well, anyway, everyone knows that's Beethoven's Fifth. It's one of the most popular tunes in the world. Everyone can hum it. Da, ba, ba, ba. It's almost cliche in classical music, right? But if you actually listen to this piece in its proper form, with an orchestra live in a concert hall, with all the winds and timpani as well, it could be one of the most powerful experiences. We're going to do the last one because I want to show you about what the transformative experience is with the Beethoven Symphony. And I hope any of you who've only know the first movement should listen to the whole thing. Beethoven takes you on a journey from the darkness and struggle of what you just heard, the first movement, to redemption in the last movement. C minor becomes C major, and we have triumph over fate. When I think of beauty of melody, just sheer beauty, the composer that comes to my mind is Franz Schubert. I mean, Schubert wrote the most gorgeous melodies. Unfortunately, he died when he was only 31 years old, and most of his music was not performed or published during his lifetime. But he left us with the most beautiful songs, chamber music, and symphonies. So we're going to play just a tiny bit from his now famous Unfinished Symphony, and you can listen to how this beautiful melody is interrupted by Schubert's idea of fate and the inevitable. sorry to all these composers. We're only playing this tiny bit. It's not the way it's supposed to be. I wish we could play the whole thing.
Yes.
But anyway, you might ask, who are the Schuberts of today? I mean, does anyone write beautiful melodies for classical orchestra anymore? Well, I can leave you to be the judge of that. We're going to play a little piece written just 2 years ago. I commissioned my friend in New York, one of my favorite living composers, Kevin Putz, to write me a piece called Earth. Kevin Putz's homage, or you might say his love letter to our precious planet. You know,